Greetings, fellow llama pajamas. Tiki here.
And Jacob Wile.
And welcome to another thrilling installment of Tiki's Universe, the show where we react and respond to various animated cartoons, mostly Steven Universe, but also Star versus the Forces of Evil, which we'll be talking about right now. All right, Jacob, we are on Season 2, Episode 10. Can you believe it, Jacob? We're already in the double digits for Season 2.
I know, it's like Disney's having their normal airing schedule for once.
Right? It's crazy. It's like, oh my god, this is a treat. So we're actually almost halfway done. Like next week we'll be halfway done with the season. I don't know if it goes on hiatus after that. There's no more episodes listed on the wiki after that.
Well, this is 22 half-hour episodes, so technically
that would be 11 weeks worth of content. So
no, I mean like 22 half hours. I mean like that. I think that means like 22. Like that mean it'd be about, if they split it, that'd be about 44.
I'm not sure about that. We'd have to.
Half hours usually means like the entire block.
Fair enough. I know. I'd have to look into it, but
because that would technically make this shorter than the last season, and it says it's going to be a lot longer. So
okay, yeah, you're probably right. Then you're probably right, because I think last season like
only 13 half hours.
Right. Yeah. So
okay. This one's supposed to be 22.
I see what you're saying then. Okay, folks. I'm sorry. Never mind. We are not halfway done. I apologize. Thanks for clarifying that, Jacob. Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're talking about Camping Trip. This was definitely the less plot relevant episode of the two that we got this week, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I love King Butterfly as a character, and this was probably the best episode that he's had in the series so far.
I don't know. If you cannot tell by the image.
Right. That is one of the best images in the show so far, seriously. The one thing I will give this week's block of episodes, Jacob, that I wasn't happy about. Can you guess what it is?
No.
No Glossaric appearance.
Oh, well, I can see that.
Because we've gotten 3 straight weeks of Glossaric appearances. But anyways. So let's start. So Star and Marco are in nature, and it starts with Star getting a mosquito bite. She wants to cast like a big death ray on it with her wand, but no. Nature's nice.
Yeah, forgetting that she's also pointing it at herself.
Of course.
Yeah,
okay.
And their parents, Marco's parents can't. I can't say there, but Marco's parents can't join them because, like, you know how most parents, how most people take pictures of their vacations. Mine take paintings.
Oh my god, I love this. Like, Mr. and Mrs. Diaz are completely delightful every time they're on screen. Seriously. It's like they go like one pose at a time, and it's like, I got to admit though, they're really good artists for the amount of paintings that they can get done in that trip, because they basically do like a whole, it's almost like a painting flip book, of like, but,
yeah, like I wish I could do something like that.
Right.
They should do that they should do that for money.
Don't see a lot of Mr. and Mrs. Diaz this episode, but per usual, they're a good treat when they're there. Okay, so the king shows up. He's looking all badass.
Not to mention he'll crash lands for something.
Right. I love how the king doesn't wear a shirt the whole episode.
For some reason.
God. And we never get explained why he's not wearing a shirt. He's just there. He's just there.
I think it just goes along with this whole midlife crisis kind of thing.
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think it's.
Could you definitely call this episode him having a midlife crisis almost?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all the symptoms, like he's afraid his daughter's growing up and he's doing all this to like capture his youth or something like that.
Of course.
It would definitely be him trying to like recapture his youth and get in the middle of a midlife crisis.
So they're on the boat. Marco's trying to teach him how to fish, and he's getting jealous of Marco right off the bat because Marco's kind of trying to teach Star the customs of camping on Earth,
he doesn't like that, considering he taught her how to survive on Muni.
And it's a lot harsher on Muni.
He's like, you wait for the fish to come to you? And we see him next. He's like he's not getting any fish. He's just punching the lake.
Yeah, he's literally grabbing his own foot and beating the crap out of his own foot. I love the timing on that gag, though, where Marco's just like gets a close up on Marco's face and he's like, now we just sit here and wait. You wait for the fish to come to you. And, he's just kind of trying to explain fishing. And then it just pans and the king's not there. He's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, but we're forgetting the whole reason why they're there, though.
Old Youthful.
The geyser.
All right, let's get into Old Youthful. I thought this was a really cool idea. Once again, I really like, Jacob, that they're kind of expanding the world of the show in a way. We're kind of going out of town. I like that this is kind of a tourist spot within the Echo Creek region. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, he wants to take Star to see the geyser.
Mm-hmm. It got its name from settlers who believed that the geyser had rejuvenating powers, and that's kind of going to be a little bit of a plot point later on.
And so after the fishing,
we see a gross close up on the king's foot. Oh God!
Which he did to himself.
Right. I don't need boots. I don't even need feet.
and thus he decides to try and give Star how about a piggyback ride like I used to give you.
And keep in mind, he's using his feet, his hands as his feet, which would mean he's using something else as his shoulders in this piggyback ride.
He's using his legs as
yeah, but more specifically, what's Star going to be sitting on?
Well, I guess never mind.
Yeah. Not the best idea, King. Not the best idea. But then Marco wants one. Marco, oddly enough, wants an upside down piggyback ride.
I think it's just going to be more resting on their legs instead of the general area.
I would hope so. But
I think that's what he had in mind.
But Marco wants one.
It's kind of like reverse shoulders kind of thing.
Yeah, I hear you. But what's the King's reaction to Marco wanting a piggyback ride?
That would be weird, Marco.
I feel like the King was channeling Glosseric in that moment.
Even the way he said that would be weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so the King runs off and they track him into this tree
where he's having a staring contest with a bald eagle.
By the way, I love how Star and Marco get up to the tree by using the Mary Poppins umbrella that comes out of the wand. That was delightful.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah, that was cool.
How did the King get up there so fast?
We'll never know. Well, the King, keep in mind, the King ran like 10 miles in 4 minutes, so he's got some skills.
Yeah.
Okay, so staring contest with a bald eagle. Oh God! Once I break his spirit with my eyes, will be flown to the geyser. And then he's psyching out the eagle.
And we almost forgot the whole geyser joke.
No, that's coming up later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
who
that's
are
coming
you
up
calling
later.
geezer? Yeah.
Anyway, so the King is just trying to psych out the llama, and he's just like, the eagle. And he's like, llama pajama.
I think it was here we should realize he's pretty much lost his mind.
Yeah, it's like we get this great thing where it's like a close up on the King's eyes, and at first we think it's an inner dialogue where he's like, "Oh, my daughter is over the piggyback rides, and this Marco kid is probably her boyfriend." Oh, and then he gets into an argument. He's like, "You're old. Who are you calling old?" And then it's revealed that he's talking to himself and he's having an argument with himself. I just love how that was framed where it's like we get the close up on his eyes so we think it's the inner monologue. That was really well set up.
And then turns out they hear it too, and they're like, okay. They hear him. And thus they realize that he's actually, staring down in breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
Thus they come to arrest him.
I love how the King just keeps paying the sheriff off with gold coins.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Anyways,
that's how they paid off the principal to let her go to Earth in the beginning.
Sure.
Well, obviously it works.
Turned out that feathered winged creature was some kind of sacred animal.
Yep.
And then the
more American symbolism.
Yes. The park ranger gives them a piece of advice where it's like, you better go to the geyser. And then And then this is where we get the geyser geezer thing.
It's like, who you calling geezer? He's like, oh, geyser.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense now in context.
Yep, and then they realize they can't make it there in time.
Because all the trails are all mixed up, and why do they not have the map, Jacob? Why did they not have the map?
Because the king got hungry and he ate it.
Oh god, that was honestly, out of all the stuff the king does this episode, that might be the most ridiculous. He just crumples up the map so casually, just shoves it in his mouth. Oh god.
Like, immune. Did he ever teach you how to survive immune, touching a beast in Muni for 11 days with no food?
Oh god. Okay.
That's like his justification for eating paper.
So Marco's trying to stay positive. He's like, all right, one of these trails is the right one. So eeny, meeny, miny, no! Cuts to, they see the 50 miles to Old Faithful sign. Or, I'm sorry, to Old Youthful. Yep.
I'm glad they didn't go with the whole reliable thing. Like everyone else does.
And then this is where we get the king's like...
The king gets an idea.
He gets an awful idea. The king got a wonderful, awful idea. And that awful idea is what you see here on the screen. With apparently they wrangled the bear. And yeah, Jacob, the best part about this is that this is on screen for no more than 2 seconds.
And we have no idea how it happened.
It's such a quick gag. It is such a rapid fire gag. It's like we see like the police chasing the bear, and it's just like, and then boom, like crash cut to the station again.
It's like, how did that happen?
Oh god.
It's like wait, what? You don't even have to process it before they move on.
Okay, so looks like there's some bad news. The Old Youthful goes off in 5 minutes, and it's a 10-minute hike. It's impossible to get to.
10-mile hike, I thought. I don't know.
No, it's 10 miles.
You said minutes first time, so
no, it's 10 miles.
But the bad news is it's the last one.
Right.
And Marco reveals why he wants to see it, because Star has shown him so many amazing things, he just wanted to pay her back.
And then we get the adorable, like, Star's got the anime eyes, Marco! And then the king's also got the shiny anime eyes, Marco! Oh god. This episode has a lot of adorable anime eyes, and I approve of that.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. The Ranger's kind of telling Marco that that Old Youthful is all dried up. It's been fading away for years. It's a shadow of its former glory, and to put it in delicate language, Old Youthful is plumb out of youth. And then I love this. I love how this is directed, though, Jacob, because
all we see when he's saying that is the king.
Right. And the king, it's like you totally know what's going through the king's head. It's like he's totally relating this geyser to himself, and he's like, oh my god, okay.
Yep. Like I said, he's basically going through a midlife crisis.
Oh yeah. But in his midlife crisis, he does something pretty awesome. So it's like, yes, Marco, we will go and see that geyser. And then I love the Ranger here. The Ranger here is honestly one of the funniest one-off characters on this show, because he's just like, tick tock, tick tock.
He's like, instead of waiting around here, you can just get going.
Right. Okay, so Marco and Star take one last piggyback ride. Star and Marco are on the king's shoulders. Hell yes. Thankfully, the king's running with his feet. Thank God.
Yeah.
I love how he's like throwing them skillfully across the deer and like, dodging all these obstacles and stuff. He's like jumping over the mountains like mountain goats going through a World War reenactment. And then how does this all wrap up, Jacob?
They almost make it before the old reliable disappears.
Mm-hmm. And the king's kind of beating himself up. He's like, I let you down, pumpkin. And then Marco, he's very encouraging. He's like, are you kidding me, man? You ran 10 miles in like 4 minutes. That's like 150 miles per hour.
I was like, he said 5 minutes. He's like, I used to be able to do it in 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
I used to be able to do it in 4 minutes.
And then the king's like, now Star's got a boyfriend. I'm not her boyfriend. You ran up a waterfall. Do you know how crazy that is?
Yep.
All right.
Apparently the king has his own kind of magic.
I love this with Star. It's like Star's like, you know, Daddy, it's like I'm older, but I still need you. You'll always be my hero because you'll always be my dad.
I'm older too. I still need you.
And then I just call this section the attack of the anime eyes because it's just like, ah.
I think that's a really nice sentiment there.
Absolutely. I think it's nice sentiments all around. I really like the idea that Marco wants to show Star the geyser. Anyways,
and that the king just like really like he doesn't want to he still wants to be Star's hero.
Right. So then what happens to the king?
So it's kind of like an old kind of tired, not really tired, but it's an old thing. Like it's been seen before, but the way it's played out here, they really play it out nicely, and not it doesn't get heavy-handed like a lot of other things do.
Yeah, I agree. It's all very natural within the development of the characters. It all fits with what we already know about the characters. Like you said, this is basically like a holdover from the last time we saw the king in the wild and Star unexpectedly bumped into him. So, okay, anyways, so Star, they say that the king needs to go get some pants on because, you know, he's been basically running around naked the whole episode. And he gets accidentally pushed right into the geyser. And then the geyser erupts, and there's like this massive rainbow and everything. It's very impressive.
And then back at the ranger station, like, you really need to stop lying to these tourists about the old
yeah, I know, but it's so fun. I feel like those rangers were holdovers from Gravity Falls. Like, this whole episode kind of feels like a Gravity Falls episode to me in a way. I don't know. It's probably just the setting. It's probably just the setting in the woods. But anyways, I digress.
You really need to stop lying to these tourists about that.
Right. Okay, so what does the king look like when he comes out of the geyser?
Oh, basically younger and more red and shiny.
Bald and just basically like a giant, like fully grown infant. Oh boy.
Yeah, not exactly how normal Fountain of Youth work.
Right. Okay, so the king is rejuvenated with old youthful, and then we end the episode with the king and Marco and Star and the Diaz family watching the painting slideshow, and that's the king doing this, and that's the king doing this, and that's the king doing this.
Like this is so much better than slideshows.
And I love how the king kind of has this, this small beard growing. He's still growing the beard back. So, okay. All right. So that's it. That was a camping trip, Jacob. What were your final thoughts on it?
Definitely a pair of very good episodes this week.
Yeah, I think this was honestly probably, they're really stepping it up. I really like these two episodes. I really thought, like I said, they really paired them up well with each other, where the first one was about Star kind of bond you with a childhood hero and realizing that the childhood hero is off her rocker. Then the second one is kind of like Star reuniting with her father and kind of like rekindling the bond with her father in spite of her father being kind of a nut. So it's two very different but very similar messages.
It's kind of clear that going crazy runs in the family almost.
Right. Okay.
So she definitely takes after her father mostly.
So I'm very looking forward to next week, and we'll see where we get from there.
I just think I kind of want to see an episode where she more bonds with their mother kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll see. I honestly don't... I'm not, like, crazy about the dynamic she has with her mother, just because I think it's a little cliche, the whole, like, the princess rebelling against the queen and stuff like that. Like, we've seen that before. We saw it in Brave. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I'm not trying to critique the show. I'm just saying, like...
Well, it's a lot better than Brave, I'll give you that.
It is better than Brave, but I digress. So... Anyways, yeah, I really like this episode. I really like the pair of episodes. Like I said, I think thematically they tie together very nicely. I can't wait to get some Ludo stuff in the mix, though. I think this first half of the season is kind of a slow burn, and I think they're really building some Ludo stuff that's going to really pay off later on down the line. Where do you think Toffee is? When are we going to get Toffee?
Well, if you notice, Ludo's actually been carrying part of him around the whole time.
What do you mean carrying part of him?
if you noticed how the wand is part of a bone, how the top of the wand.
Okay, right. Yeah, I get you.
Notice when he has the hand.
Yeah, I get you. Okay.
Missing a finger.
So do you think once Toffee realizes that Ludo has that wand, it's going to be kind of like all out war between Ludo and Toffee?
Yeah, that or Toffee's gonna resurrect from that.
Interesting.
Because it's like they specifically showed the fact that it's missing a finger.
Right.
So it's heavily implied that's Toffee's hand.
Okay.
So who knows? But next week,
Yeah.
Star Sitting. Where Star and Marco babysit Buff Frog's tadpoles.
Now, who is Buff Frog? Can you remind me who Buff Frog is?
The Russian-sounding giant bullfrog who used to work from Ludo.
Okay, I thought it was someone who was one of Ludo's henchmen. Okay.
He's the first guy to get kicked out by Toffee.
Oh, right. Okay, that guy. Gotcha.
Yeah, the Russian frog guy.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
The Star and Margo babysit his tadpoles, and apparently their babysitting methods clash. And the next one apparently focuses on Buff Frog doing some kind of job while they watch his kids or something.
So that's interesting. It kind of feels like it's going to be two parts of the same story, where it's like part one is going to be, Star and Marco watching the kids, and then part two is going to be Buff Frog doing the thing that he's doing while Star and Marco are watching the kids. Well, that's an interesting way to go about it. Okay.
Well, I'm just going by that based on what the
sure.
On the wiki says. I don't know how true that's going to be, but we'll see.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. We hope you've been enjoying these vlogs, and join us next week where things will get a little weird and a little wild yet again.
Llama pajama.
Llama pajama.
Pajama.
That would be weird, Marco.